Is Easter here yet? I gave up Diet Coke for Lent again, and it's driving me crazy! Connectors, what's up? DK here. Hope you're having a good day. Are you having a good day? I hope you're having a good day. I want to talk to you today about something that I think every nonprofiteer and every nonprofit organization inevitably gets into, and that is doubt. It creeps in slow. It comes in drips and drabs. Sometimes it's because an event doesn't work out so well. Maybe a fundraising goal isn't met. The team seems a little, or as you are starting a nonprofit, you don't have a team and you just sort of feel like you're drifting, and there's a lot of unclear what's happening here. And that's okay. First and foremost, remind yourself the amazing work that you are about to do or that you are doing with your mission, your team, your board, your volunteers, your donors. Remind yourself that when the times are tough, and believe me, the times are going to be tough a lot. Not only being the third largest sector in America, doing amazing work and doing a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to our community development, nonprofits are being taxed as much as possible. Do more with less is a mantra that happens in the sector all the time. Our services are needed, but our donations are tough. Our services are asked to increase, but our donations can't match the increase. Grants that we had that we thought were locks went away for whatever reason, whether it's our own personal problems or whether it's the organizations that are providing the funding shifting their focus and we just simply are out of the mix. These things happen and they're going to continue to happen. The question for you as the leader is, what can you do when these things happen? With every ebb, there is a flow. With every time there's an up, there will be a down. Peak and valley is a real thing. You are going to hit the valley. So what do? A lot of times they tell you, leadership people that is, that you persevere and you fight through it. And then I usually say to myself, what the hell does that mean? It's sort of implied that it's sort of a grin and bear it. Like, good luck with that. Like, there's really no real answer that you can do. You can move forward. So allow me to maybe give you a suggestion of a couple things I think you really can do when things are tough. I mean, really things that you can do. First, look at your mission. I know that sounds corny, but look at your mission. Very often in the nonprofit sector, and we are all a fault of this in some way, shape, or form, we get head down in the work, the busy work of an organization. It turns into the job. It's not the mission that's moving you because you're head down in the work. You got to get a report out. You got to write a grant. You got to put a press release out. You got to meet a donor. It's the things, but it's not the mission. So take a second. Look at your mission. Remind yourself why in the world you came to work at this organization. Without the mission, we are not a nonprofit organization. Without our mission and drive, we are just sort of pushing paper and making phone calls and sending emails and posting social media stuff, which is fine. It's a lot of fun. The mission matters. So remind yourself of that. 2, assemble your team. Get out in the open the fact that there feels like there is a little bit of a lull. Let everyone share their feelings on how things feel. Let everybody know that we're in it together. Too often what happens is the development director is short on their fundraising goal and everyone sort of isolates and doesn't talk to him or her. And it's kind of like baseball, for those of you who know, when a pitcher's on a great a pitcher's pitching a no-hitter, all of a sudden all the guys sit away from him and he's sitting alone because they don't want to mess it up. This is in the opposite. When things are really, really bad, sometimes people sort of push away. You get the token like, are you okay, man? Is everything cool? But really, it starts to sort of isolate teams because one person doesn't feel like they have the ability to share something like that because they worry they're the only ones thinking this way. If there really is a lull and the leader sees that, I think it's in the best interest of the leadership to bring everybody together and say, hey, we know things are tough right now, and share what you're feeling about this, and let's find a way to work it together. 3, go off-site. Get out of the office. Do something to mix up the routine and change things up. It usually means that something Something has to be adjusted for people to kind of snap themselves out of this lull and get themselves a little bit focused. And it could be something as simple as a lot of things I've suggested before. Like, instead of having a staff meeting where you're sitting in a conference room and it's all the same room and everybody sits in the same seats and everybody's in their notes and stuck in their phones, how about take your staff meeting offsite, take it to a coffee shop, have a walk around the block, get to know your neighbors, go to a place that you haven't gone yet. How about go to a place that doesn't necessarily support your organization, to just introduce yourself and say, hey, we're having a quick staff meeting here. We just want to sit down and talk. Find a different location. Sometimes setting matters when it comes to attitude. Is this 4? I think this is 4. The 4th thing I would say to do is to just take a second. I wrote a blog a couple of years ago about the funny change in tone when it comes to smoking, and the idea of the smoke break kind of was eroding away from the business line. I'm going to go out and take a smoke. People would just get up and leave and do it. I said, let's bring it back, but call it idea break. Let's take an idea break. Get up away from your desk and move into a place that's strictly for ideas and for punching through new cool ideas and initiatives. Have idea breaks throughout the day. Get people excited to get up and energize and get themselves juiced up and ready to roll. And that's sort of the same as the staff meeting thing, take it off site, but this is an individual thing. The individual can choose to get up whenever he or she wants to kind of put some things together. I'll put a link to my old blog that I did a few years ago on this because I really like because I also created an idea room, which I think every organization should have. It's just a creative space that's meant to sort of digital download stuff out of your head and put cool ideas down somewhere. I suggest using whiteboard paint, which might be the greatest invention in the planet. Having fun within a nonprofit organization is completely legal. It's completely appropriate. And too often we skip this and it becomes work and the job. And that's what drains people and hurts them. Morale is something that you can help as a leader. And I think it is one of the top things that leadership has to do. It's not about stats and figures all the time. It's about looking at your team and seeing what can I do as a servant leader to help you to move the mission forward. So what do you think? You can get out of this. First of all, you know your mission. You know how good your mission is. You know the impact that you make. So remind yourself of that. You know your team is strong, and sometimes that lull requires people just to remind themselves, you're all in the boat, you're all rowing, and you're rowing the same direction. You're all in this together. So if one of you is on a lull, all of you are on a lull. And that's the time where you need to get together and say, I have your back. Don't you worry. I got your back. Allow for time for new ideas. Allow for new concepts to be birthed. Too often we are stuck in the day moment of the work, and we realize that we're not getting our creative juices flowing. So take some idea breaks. Get some new things coming up. Some new reminders of that. And most importantly, have fun. Have fun in the work you're doing. The impact that you do and the impact to your constituents, clients, customers is immeasurable. And remind yourself that with all that hard work comes some good play. So enjoy it. Enjoy being in the sector. That's the nonprofit power. Guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. My name is DK. I'm with Connected Dots Movement. We are a nonprofit power consulting firm that works with nonprofit organizations and small enterprises, the small social enterprise businesses and entrepreneurs, to really help organizations grow, find their why, put themselves into value and voice mode, making sure that they can share that message of strength and making their communities that much stronger. So if you're interested in hanging out with me or asking questions of me or Connected Dots Movement's mantra, my email is right here, doug@connecteddotmovement.org. You can also follow us on Facebook. We are right here at facebook.com/Connected Dots Movement. And we are on Twitter. And I always say Twitter last because Twitter is an important part of this show, because very often I do Q&A with DK. And I take questions from social media, mostly from Twitter. So if you got a question for me, or if you have a topic that you want me to cover, right here at We Connect Dots is the best way to get that to me. I would appreciate that. Also, I have a personal Twitter that I'd like you to follow too. It's right here, DKnight44. 44 is for Syracuse. We're playing today. They call it the first four for the NCAA men's basketball tournament. It's not. There's no first four. It's just a play-in game. I know. Guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. My name is DK. I'm with Connected Dots, and you have just been connected. I'll see you around. Quick shout out here in York County, Pennsylvania, to my dear friend Mary Yeeple. Coming up this Saturday is our St. Patrick's Day Parade here in York, Pennsylvania. It is so fantastic. Mary, you and your volunteers are always wonderful. It is one of the best times of the year. So if you're in York or around York County somewhere in South Central PA, why don't you come down to York and check out the St. Patrick's Day Parade here in York. Mary, you're a badass, man. Much love. Ha ha! Nonprofit power.